computer. Okay, so I'll look your best. All right, so I'm going to go through the syllabus. We'll talk about Tuesdays and Thursdays, what the breakdown, what our format's supposed to be, the assignments that you're going to have to do, which is basically, and I said this to whoever came last week, if you want to hand in assignment ahead of time, that's fine. Somebody in my other class wanted to know if he could do an assignment on a topic that we'd already covered. That's fine. The idea is that in the end, you have 4 total assignments. We've already done the family tree, and then we'll be doing the eating disorder collage. So there's 2 others that you can pick, and it should be something that you're interested in. Let's see, I'm gonna break you into chat rooms and practice that again because I just thought that was so much fun. My office hours are class time. I will be here starting with office hours. My office hours usually start at 2:30, and I will be here until on Tuesdays. Well, let me just talk about that. Let's see. Oh, no, not yet. First, I want to talk about this. Being a health and disease class, I want to explain to you, you may be hearing a lot about lowering the curve or trying to control the curve. And what you're looking at in this slide is a curve that's gone up really high and one that's been flattened. The phrase they're talking about is taking all these measures to flatten the curve. And if you have any questions, please ask. I have no idea. I think your little square lights up when you're talking. I don't know. So the idea is to flatten the curve by putting all these controls into place so that you slow down the rate at which cases of COVID-19 are appearing. What we have on the left is a really steep, high curve here. And what happened, this is what happened in Italy. And with this uncontrolled transmission, this uncontrolled growth, they didn't put in any controls until they didn't realize what was happening. And what happened was they now are experiencing measures where the hospitals are overrun, the morgues are overrun, and they're trying to get it under control. What is the idea or the goal of getting these controls in place is that you slow the spread of the disease so that you're not overwhelming the resources, and unfortunately we seem to have limited resources, but to reduce the impact on hospitals, to slow the spread of the disease. So that's what it's being referred to when you hear about flattening the curve. And something I think that folks may not understand is that you may feel well and have COVID-19, and you can spread it while you're still feeling well. I'm not saying that any of you have it. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm thinking of Senator Rand Paul, for example, who was feeling fine, and he got tested, and he didn't wait until he got the results of his test to put into place the to start to quarantine himself. And so there was a whole period there where he was interacting with people, and again, he felt fine, and he could have infected people. What you're hearing, I'm hearing is that your demographic is not affected, is not hurt as well. You know, the impact on your health is not as great. You may feel like you have a bad cold, and a cold that for some reason has a fever, and you don't know unless you get high, whoever just put their head in. I don't know who that is, but, and you may feel fine, or you just may feel a little bit sick, but the problem is you may not quarantine yourself, and you can still shed virus. You can still spread the disease. And while you might not need to be ever hospitalized, hopefully none of you will get it, and it's moot, you might be spreading it to somebody who doesn't know that you're sick and wind up needing to be using resources that are in a limited supply. So I know that it's miserable right now for you to be doing what you're doing, and I'm really sorry, but I look at this as just trying to make an effort to flatten this curve that you've been hearing about. Does anybody have any questions about this curve flattening of? So please, I know this is a difficult time and I know that you don't want to be doing this, but think of it as your contribution to flattening the curve. Any questions? Somebody say something? All right, then I'm going to go over the syllabus because I have it here somewhere or somehow. I sent out an updated syllabus. Oh, good. I did the exam date right for you folks. Okay, so this week, managing your health. I mean, always managing your health, managing your weight. So on Blackboard, well, I'll get to that in a few minutes. I have videos posted that I want you to watch before we get together on Thursday. So Tuesday's classes, I will be available on Zoom. All right, I will be available, but you don't have to come, right? You don't have to check in, but I'll be here if you have any questions about the material that's being covered. So the idea is that you're going to watch the videos, you're going to go to Blackboard, you're going to read, you're going to watch, you're going to do what is on Blackboard. And then when we get together on Thursdays, that's when we'll have current events, that's when we'll have a discussion, and we'll answer any questions. That's the format that I have right now. If anybody has any suggestions or would like something else to see something else, let me know because we're being flexible. I have an exam scheduled for class time. Well, I have to think about that. I don't know that we need to do it during class, but I will, no, I'm going to send you. I will post what the exam is going to be. I will post an exam. It will be 10 questions of which you'll pick 5. And I trust you. And that's what I thought about doing for an exam. There's no class on April 21st. There's no class anyway. Your papers for To Your Good Health, I want you to have to me by 5 o'clock on April 23rd. The idea that we discussed was that since we're not going to have presentations, that you will pick an aspect of your topic. And to be honest, if there's another topic that you'd rather cover, that's fine. You can do a 3 to 5 page paper on that and write about what you're interested in, why it's interesting to you. What I ask is that you include your resources with it. I'm not going to ask you to submit them ahead of time. And that will take care of that assignment. Of course, I'd much rather see your creative sides, but we have to play the hand we're dealt. All right, so that's what I have for the syllabus. Any questions about the syllabus?
Is the eating disorder collage due next Tuesday, the 31st, or the week after that?
It will be the 2nd, April 2nd. That's a week from Thursday. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do something to get to Blackboard. Let's see. I get out of here and then I go to my desktop, but my desktop is full of your shining faces, so that's not what I want. Let's see. Oh, okay. Can y'all see that? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's see. So the syllabus, course documents is where everything is made clear or not. So next week, Thursday's class, this is who's presenting. These are the folks that, by presenting, I mean this is your current event, right? You do what you did in class. You don't have to submit anything to me. If I think that I'd like to have a look at your article, I'll ask you to send me the link. But we're making up for last week, so we have a lot of people doing current events. I'm looking forward to it. These are the videos that you're asked to watch. These are the first 2. These would be the slides that we would have gone over in class. It's just that I don't have your creative comments keeping me going in between. So these go over the information we would have covered in class. This is instructions for the eating disorder collage. I put together a quick video on the instructions for the collage, but they're also under assignments. And this doesn't need to be here. And this is another video that I ask you to watch because while I always talk about diet and exercise, and you always hear about diet and exercise, and we'll talk about this next week, you shouldn't exercise just to lose weight. I guess what I'm thinking is people exercise and they look at the calories that they've burned and they say, oh, I burned this many calories, now I can eat this. Well, exercise isn't the best way to lose weight because you don't really burn as many calories as you want to. And that's not saying that you shouldn't be active. Of course you should be active. We talked about all the benefits of being active, but unfortunately we don't tend to burn as much calories as we think we are. Again, doesn't mean you shouldn't exercise. You shouldn't be active, but so have a look at that. And then after, let's see, let me go back. After we've discussed what was in the videos or any questions that you might have, I have discussion questions that I'm going to assign to different groups. I haven't quite figured out how I want to do that yet, but there will be 4 questions for each topic. And now I'm going to, let's see. So I'm going to put you into groups because that's really cool. I'm going to put you into breakout groups, and I have 4 breakout groups. So they're all going to be numbered. Let me see some. Can you all see what I see here with the breakout groups? You don't see anything. All right. So I'm going to send you to your rooms. I have 4 breakout groups with about 6 people in them, and you should be going to your room shortly. And then I'm going to join you. Don't go away. Okay, so cool.
Practicing being in a group.
All right. So, hi, breakout group number 1.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm always amazed when it works. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go into your room. I'm going to go to your room. I'm going to show you your question. So, for example, if this is the group that you were in on Thursday, you would be explain how surface area is involved in energy expenditure. And that would be your discussion question. So you would go through the information that you gleaned from those wonderful videos that I put together, and you would talk about how surface area is involved in energy expenditure. You would do this for however long we decide. I will come into the room with your permission, and I will see how things are going. And then after maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, we'll go back into the classroom, and everybody will get the answers to the questions. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
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 I'm going to leave your room now. You can do whatever you want. Hello, breakout group number 2. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm in awe that this stuff still works. I think what I'm going to wind up doing is, as I break you into these groups, as you go into these groups, and I don't know if this is the group you'll be in on Thursday, what I'll do is then share my screen with you, like I'm doing right now, or will be shortly. And you will have question number 2, which is explain the difference between leptin and ghrelin and their effect on weight regulation. That would be the second question. And what you'll do is discuss that question. You'll go back through the information that was in the video because it was a great video. And I will come into the rooms and I will go over it with you, make sure that you're on the right track. Then after about 15 minutes or so, we'll go back into the classroom, as it were, at Hogwarts here. And you will talk about your question. We'll go through all the different questions. Okay? How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to leave now and go to room number 3. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, my group member text.
Hello.
Huh?
You're muted, Professor.
Wait, does somebody have to give me permission to get in, or do I just come in by myself?
No,
Ah,
you
you-
just come in.
Come in.
Old. Okay, so this is why I like WebEx, but don't tell Babson. Well, I've already told Babson, it's moot. So what will happen on Thursdays is that you'll get randomized into groups. And I think what I'll do is, so you're group number 3. I will share my screen with you. And what you folks have, if this was the same group, you would be talk about hypertrophic versus hyperplastic growth and its effect on weight control, which sounds much better than what I wrote there, but that's what you would do. And then that would be what you would discuss for 10 or 15 minutes, what you got from the information from the videos, whatever you read. I would come into the room at some point and make sure that you are on the right course. And then we'll go back into the classroom and make sure everybody has all the answers to all the questions. How's that sound? That's my plan. If somebody has a better plan, I'm all ears. All right, I'm gonna leave, go to my other room.
Bye, Professor.
Bye.
Having more meeting time, so I don't know.
Hiya.
Hello.
Hello.
Professor.
Hi. So here's,
Professor, I have a question.
yes, sir.
Could you explain the paper you were talking about before? The what the group project was going to be, but now it's a paper?
Right. So it's the topic that you chose. Okay. So let me just write this down and I'll write directions for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Please.
Sure. Since you can't do a group presentation, as much as I really would, I prefer that any day. What I'm going to be asking of you is to research your topic, research a piece of the topic, or at this stage of the game, research a topic in health or disease that is of interest to you, and write me 3 to 5 pages on it. Make sure you include
That's
some,
individual then?
yeah.
Okay.
How many papers are you having to write this semester since nobody's doing presentations? Or are you still doing presentations?
Well, one of my classes, we were supposed to have a group presentation, but she turned it into a debate. But I mean, I don't really know how you could debate like a health topic, really. Like not a health topic, but like specifically with the groups. I don't know, but I guess that's the only one I would have had.
Okay. Yeah. No. If folks have a better idea on how to do it, I'm open, because I'm going to have a stack of papers, and that's nothing you should care about. That's my job. But I know that it's difficult right now, and this is a piece of your assignment, and I don't know what else to do. So if you have another idea.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, I don't know if like the class would want to do this or if you would want to do this, but what we could do is the groups could still make PowerPoints and we could send you the PowerPoint and you could share your screen and we could still we could still do a presentation. It would just be through PowerPoint and we just speak up, like each member of the group would speak up for their own slides. You know what I mean? Like that's still a presentation. I know it's not the way you were planning on having
Okay,
yours going.
but you're right. And let me be flexible. And here's what we're going to do. When we go back into the room, I want you to ask what people think about that. And if people agree with it, then that's what we can do.
Okay.
All right. But in
Yeah,
the
I
meantime,
mean, I don't know. It's just an idea.
no, if people would prefer that, that's fine. Because you guys can do Google Hangouts, or I don't know if you can access this in my absence. Or if there's a way that I could get together and get you into groups so that you could do it. I don't know. You are more familiar with that kind of stuff than I am. But if the class prefers that, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we could just because we could meet or like FaceTime or like somehow figure out Zoom and then we could still make like a good presentation on PowerPoint. You would just have to be the one clicking through the slides.
And that's fine. And again, let me just tell you what I wanted for this particular assignment. And then when we go back into the classroom, that'll teach you to volunteer information. I'll ask you to present that. And if folks would prefer that, we'll wait. You throw it out there, and then on Thursday, we'll see what people decide. Okay? All right. So with respect to discussion groups, what I would do is share my screen with you, and you're group number 4. So you would be discussing the difference between weight loss and fat loss and why it's important to know the difference. And what would happen is that you would have that question. Somebody would write it down really quickly. I don't know. And I would go back and forth between the groups, make sure that everybody's on the right track. And then we would come back into the classroom and make sure that everybody has all the information that you've discussed so that everybody has it right. Everybody understands those concepts. How does that sound?
Good.
Okay.
What was our topic again for this one?
Pardon?
What was our topic again?
Oh, I don't know that she'll be in this particular group. I just click breakout group and it randomizes magically. So I don't know.
All right.
So you'll just have to wait. Oh, I bet that's what other people, I'm going to assume everybody was writing down the question, not looking at their phones while I was going over it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens on Thursday, but you can start. These are on Blackboard under
Yeah.
questions for breakout group. All right, so I'm going to leave and then I'm going to close the groups and you just come back to the classroom. Because somehow it gets muted. Okay, so Jack had an idea for an alternate to writing a 3 to 5 page paper for To Your Good Health. Jack, the floor is yours.
So what I was saying is with the same groups that we had before, instead of writing a paper individually, we could still like meet somehow, like FaceTime or figure out Zoom to make like a slideshow on PowerPoint, and then we could all go through and do our PowerPoints while she's sharing the screen on her end, and just have her flip through the slides and kind of we'd all still be like responsible for our parts of the presentation. But I think that would be better than a paper personally, but I don't know.
I think that's a great idea, Jack.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, buddy.
Well, I thought I would give you till Thursday to ponder it. If you want to email me in between and say you're in, that's fine. I would set up a survey, but Rob Johnson to everyone would like to do that. Well, how about if I go through the class right now? Wait a minute, why don't I just do this while we're here? Or does anybody need more time to think about 3 to 5 page paper versus figuring out how to get into your groups and putting together a PowerPoint and be a talking head and not have a chance to get into that creative side? Should I take a vote now? Should I take a vote on whether or not I should take a vote? All right, Michael, what do you think? Yes or no? We're talking about voting on Jack's idea to do a PowerPoint.
I am pro anything Jack says.
Okay, that's 1 yes.
Thank you, Mike.
Abby. I can't hear you.
Hi, yes, I'm in.
Alana.
Yes.
Jack, what do you think? I know you're conflicted.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty awful idea personally, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm good.
Ava.
Yeah,
If you don't want to, you can do thumbs up or thumbs down. I can't hear you. Okay. Rob? You already said. Paul? Ethan? Okay. Sunil? I don't think he's here. He's going to be surprised. Chris?
Yes.
Oh, you said yes? Okay, good. Good,
Yeah.
good, good. I just can't see you. Okay, Chris? Chris M, okay. Orlando? Monica?
Yep.
Kyle Carr. Yeah, you?
Yes.
Rachel? Eric, G. Sharon, Stephen, Max, Chris, G. Cam, Amanda, Kaylee, Colin, Eric. I think I have another. I do have more people. Colin, did I ask you already? Oh yeah, Alicia. And Fad?
Yeah.
Well, it appears to me that the overwhelming response is to bag the paper and do a PowerPoint. So what I want you to do is that. So I think what I'd like to see you do is get yourselves together. I don't know how to tell you to do that, if you FaceTime, if you whatever, but what I would like to know, what's the date for this assignment? Does anybody have a syllabus in front of them? Wait a minute.
Wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the presentation with our groups?
Yes, we're talking about group presentations.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just trying to figure
Are you
out.
looking for the due date for the good health paper?
Yeah, it was
I have April 23rd.
April 23rd, which actually is a class I have. Oh, but it's a Tuesday. All right, so we'll meet that Tuesday. I mean, it is Tuesday. I will
I
post
have it as a Thursday. I think it's a Thursday.
Well, right, because there was an exam. That's a Thursday. Okay, we have no class on April 21st. All right, that's fine. Why don't we do that on Thursday? I will post the videos for the Skeptics Guide for that day anyway. It's not like, well, yeah, of course, it's extremely important information, the most important information you'll ever have. But so we'll do the presentations on that day. Okay, and then for that Thursday, there will be the videos to watch. The thing about the Skeptics Guide to Complementary and Alternative Medicine is that your final is also based on that topic. So it'll kind of be double dealing with that topic. You'll get a lot of it. So if we don't just have time to do it all in class time, as it were, you'll still have time to get it. So, all right, so April 23rd. So let me think, what's today? Today is the 24th. Today's the 24th. Oh, right, we're having class on the 26th when you're all going to have watched all my videos. So a week from Thursday, which is April, I want you to have met or have met with your group, but just to have figured out how to do it. Okay? Anyone? Bueller? And does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, is this just a PowerPoint on like our topic, or is it still supposed to be like creative and everything?
If you can find a way to be creative, I would be thrilled, but I just expect talking head. I don't know how you are able to do that unless y'all, no, not with social distancing. Although I did have a suggestion for somebody. I don't know if it was a group that was going to be in a doctor's office, but seeing as how doctors are doing telehealth right now, that a lot of doctors are calling in, that could be a skit. But I can understand if you're not going to do that. I mean, if you have the bandwidth to do that kind of thing and be creative that way with your time, because I know you have a lot of work in other classes, then that's fine. If not, then just a regular PowerPoint, boring PowerPoint that you can do. I do have a question. What have you guys heard about pass-fail for this semester? What are they telling you?
You could pass fail if you can either pass fail all your classes or take a letter grade for all your classes.
So it's an all or none.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what my other campus is doing right now. And when do you have to have that decision?
May 12th.
Well, and I guess you get to have a chance to know how you're doing, huh? All right. Well, good luck with your decisions. And thank you, Jack. If people have any complaints about that decision, his name is Jack McMahon, and you direct him. He was the guy that was sitting in the back, left rear wall. If you're happy with it, Professor Simons. You can just say thank you for being flexible in this time of flexibility needed. Kidding. Thank you. That was a good idea. That's why I wanted to do this. All right. Okay. I will see you on Thursday. I will be in my office starting at 2:30. I have my nutrition class. Then I'll go get something to eat because it's what one more question. Actually, two more things. TV shows. Anybody? Any series? Somebody recommended something that I forgot already.
I can send you a list. I made a bunch of lists of shows.
Okay. Thanks.
Gotcha.
Should I post them for everybody?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Okay. All right. Michael,
Yeah. Okay.
are you ready to close us out?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Due to the quarantine, I will only be telling inside jokes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Oh my God, that was terrible.